The 2025 golf season is wrapping up, and that means it's time to look back at some of the best golf gear of the year. New clubs are right around the corner, but don't worry, it's not too late to get your hands on the proven performers from this past season. As a certified club fitter, my goal is to help each and every one of you feel confident that your setup is helping, not hurting your game. So in this new series, I'll be going over drivers, irons, wedges, putters, and golf balls, giving you all the inside scoop from a club fitter's perspective about which manufacturers were on their A game and which ones fell short in this past year. So without further ado, let's wrap this year up with a bang and get right into it. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the big dogs, the disco sticks, the sexiest clubs in the bag that everybody wants to talk about. We're talking about the top 5 standalone drivers of 2025. And as a certified club fitter, this list is going to be based on my findings throughout the year in my fittings. And I've fit hundreds of people throughout the year into these drivers and other drivers out there on the market. So while these aren't the ones that I have in my bag personally at this time, throughout the year, these are the ones that stood out for me from a performance standpoint. So 2 quick things before we get into the top 5 list. Number 1 being, I've seen a lot of comments or a few comments in the past couple videos saying, oh, he's sponsored by this company, he's sponsored by that company to say good things about these clubs. I promise you, I am not. So if you see those comments, just disregard them. I wish I was getting paid by somebody to talk about golf clubs. I really do. But I promise you, at this point, I am not getting paid by any club manufacturer. However, I am getting paid by one company, and that is Primo Golf. If you've been with this channel for a long time, you know that I've been wearing Primo long before they supported the channel. I think in my very first video, actually, I was in head-to-toe Primo. I will never wear a different pair of joggers again. I will wear mostly their polos, their hoodies, their hats. I think everything they make is great. It's great quality. It looks great. It fits great. I cannot say enough good things about Primo. And as an affiliate with them, I have a discount code for you guys. It's going to be AKS15. I'll have it flashing down here for you. That's going to save you 15% off at checkout. Make sure you're checking out Primo and using that code to save yourself 15% off. It's a great Christmas gift. I know holidays are coming up. So if you have somebody or a golfer in your life that might want some polos or some joggers or some hats or whatever, make sure you're using that code Primo Golf. So with that being said, let's jump into the top 5 standalone drivers of 2025. And when I say standalone drivers, that just means I'm not picking an entire driver range. So like if it's Taylormade, I'm not picking the QI35 series. I'll give you a hint. A QI35 is on this list, but I picked one individual head that made its way onto this list. So jumping right in here, starting out with number 5, I have the Callaway Elite Triple Diamond Max. Now, if you saw my review of the Elite lineup in general, you know that I thought it was a little bit underwhelming. I thought they were kind of mediocre this year. However, that doesn't mean that there wasn't a shining star in that series. And for me, that was the Elite Triple Diamond Max. It still has that shiny black head that's in the Triple Diamond, which I prefer over the kind of weird matte black gray camo looking head in the Standard and the X variations of the drivers. I think that the Triple Diamond Max combines the best of both worlds, so you get enough forgiveness combined with enough low spin technology to make it a usable driver. Now, the reason it's at number 5 and not higher up on the list is because it did a good job of being forgiving and having low spin capabilities, but it wasn't really the best at either one. There are definitely drivers that spin less and go farther. There are also drivers that definitely are more forgiving, and there are some that do it better in both ways. As you'll see as we move on down this list. Now, while the regular Triple Diamond head was one of the fastest we saw this year, the Triple Diamond Max, you didn't lose that much ball speed. You lost a little bit. The potential for distance went down just a little bit. But the jump in forgiveness that you got, it really makes it worthwhile. The reason the triple diamond wasn't my favorite is because while it was a monster, it went forever. It was really, really unforgiving. Like you hit it a little bit off the toe, a little bit off the heel, and you lost it out of bounds. And that wasn't the case with some other low spin heads, again, as you'll see as we get down on this list. But the triple diamond max still gave you that ball speed. You're able to hit bombs with it, but you get a little bit of added forgiveness off toe, heel, low, high hits, whatever it may be. So yeah, coming in at number 5 is going to be the Callaway Elite Triple Diamond Max. And coming in at number 4, I have the aforementioned Taylormade QI35 Core. And this was a close call for me. In my fittings throughout the year, I would say I'm split pretty evenly between the LS model and the Core model. For me, I went with the Core model, but just ever so slightly. So the Core model for me was super consistent all year round. It was one of the more consistent heads. It worked for a large range of people, from low handicaps to high handicaps, everybody in between. And it still offered a lot of forgiveness without being the most forgiving head in the QI35 lineup. That would be the QI35 Max. But the QI35 Core, for not being that super forgiving ultra game improvement driver, it still had loads of forgiveness. Now there are a couple knocks that I had on this head that kept it from being higher up on this list. Number one being, this is more of a Taylormade heads in general thing. But the non-LS versions of Taylormade drivers, I hate how closed they are at address. And I understand they do that for a reason. More amateurs that need the help are gonna miss with a slice than a hook or anything like that. But I wish they made a head that was sat a little bit more neutral at address. Now you can get a Taylormade head to sit neutral without being closed, but what you have to do with the Taylormade neck settings is you have to actually change it from neutral all the way down to lower. So if you have a normal 9-degree head, let's say, and it's sitting closed and you want it to sit neutral, you have to crank it all the way down to a 7-degree driver, which doesn't work for everybody. And the other downside is that these drivers did break a little bit more often than some others on the market, and that's kind of what we've seen from Taylormade in years past. Now they are the best and the fastest at getting replacements in people's hands. So there's kind of give and take there, but overall these weren't quite as durable as other drivers on the market. When you do get this driver sitting right at address for your eye, it looks incredible though. I love the carbon matte gray type thing that they did this year. I think it looks really clean and inviting to hit. So I do like the looks of it at address. You just have to make sure that it sets up right for your eye. So overall, coming in at number 4 is going to be the Taylormade QI35 Core. Let's move on. Now coming in at number 3, I have the Ping G440 LST. Now this is kind of what we've come to expect from Ping, but this was by far the most forgiving low spin head on the market this year. And that's why it was so popular among all levels of golfers this year. Usually the low spin heads are going to be reserved for the better ball striker, for the better player. But because this driver had so much forgiveness packed in an LS head, it really worked for the masses. So obviously your better player that's going to strike the ball and he's going to work it however he wants is going to be able to hit this head. It's going to be low spinning enough for him to still hit it far and hit it, where he wants. But for that guy who maybe swings it really fast, but spins it a ton, just presents a ton of dynamic loft, and just the ball spins up in the air a crap ton and kind of balloons. This driver's low spinning enough to where they're going to see the benefits of it, but they're still going to be able to hit it and hit it on the face and hit it in the general vicinity of where they want. Now with Ping, we are still waiting on the G440 10K MOI head. The G430 from last year was one of their biggest success stories of the past few years. And I'm really surprised they haven't come out with the 440 10K yet. So I'm really excited to see what that looks like and if that can even surpass the G440 LST. Now it has the Ping turbulators that we've all become accustomed to. Some people love them, some people hate them. They aren't quite as pronounced this year. I also love the kind of two-tone top that they have going on with the really dark gray and then the slightly less dark gray. But I think it really looks clean at address. It frames the ball really nicely and just provides the user with a ton of confidence. So not a ton to say about the G440 LST. It's the best of both worlds, and it comes in at number 3 on my list. Now coming in at number 2 is going to be the Titleist GT2. Now you had to know Titleist was going to be on this list somewhere, and it's a little bit different actually than some of the other drivers that made this list. In our testing, the Titleist GT2 and the GT lineup in general was by far the fastest in terms of ball speed in the entire market. It's not quite as forgiving. It didn't make this list because of its forgiveness. I did go with the more forgiving head, so the GT2 rather than the GT3 or GT4. So there are some elements of forgiveness. It's not, you know, just completely unforgiving, but in terms of distance, it's the #1 driver out there. I'd talk about looks, but if you've seen any Titleist driver in the past like 8 years, it looks the same. It's still that shiny black head. It looks really clean, really sleek. It looks mean. It looks inviting to hit. And yeah, it makes you feel like you're ready to attack the course. Now, I'm not a huge believer in feel in a driver. Like, I don't think that should be the most important thing. If you have a driver that doesn't feel all that good, but you're hitting fairways 320 yards every time, then that shouldn't matter. But with this driver, it really does feel better than every other driver on this list. It feels so satisfying and the sound is so good. Just when you make contact with this driver, it just feels different. So yeah, coming in at #2 is the Titleist GT2, and you might be sitting there thinking, Aaron, what could possibly beat that? I just said every good thing you can pretty much say about a driver. Coming in at #1, the shock of the year by far is the Cobra DS Adapt Max K. If at the beginning of the year you had told me that Cobra would have the #1 selling driver and #1 most fit for driver of the year, I would have laughed in your face. In the past few years, Cobra drivers have been decent. They've been okay. They haven't been bad by any means, but they have not been at the top. And this year that has completely changed with their introduction of the Max K, which is their 10K MOI driver. It has a squashed down shape with a matte black head. It looks super inviting to hit, and it is the absolute best of both worlds. You get the forgiveness of a 10K driver. You know what those are like. Those are super forgiving. The Ping was super forgiving when they first came out with their 10K variation, and the QI35 Max also has 10K MOI, also super forgiving. So you get the forgiveness benefits of the 10K MOI, but then it's also low spinning enough to where you can hit absolute bombs with this thing. It's such a consistently low spin driver for having that 10K MOI. A lot of the times in the more forgiving driver heads, the spin fluctuates a lot. So if you catch it off the low heel, it's gonna spin at 4,500 and it's gonna go nowhere. You catch it high toe, it's gonna knuckle and it's gonna go forever. With this driver, it was pretty consistently low spin on the entire face. Now the performance after impact alone is enough to have it on this list, probably be top 3 on this list. But the other thing that Cobra introduced this year is the Future Fit 33 technology. Now, if you've seen any other videos on this driver that I've put out, you know that I was a little skeptical at first. I thought it seemed gimmicky. I didn't know how actually effective it was gonna be, but the more I used it, the more I use it in my fittings with all different types of swings, it really proved itself time and time again that this technology works. I can make this driver upright with less loft, upright with more loft, flat with less loft, flat with more loft. I can do whatever I need to do. I can just make it super flat or super upright, or add a bunch of loft, take a bunch of loft off. I can do whatever I need to do to fit that person best. So as a fitter, I can't say enough good things about this driver. I hope they don't change it too much in the next couple years because it does not need to be changed. This driver is one of the best things that Cobra has ever done. So yeah, for me, I didn't think I would be saying this at the beginning of the year, but the #1 standalone driver of 2025 is the Cobra DS Adapt Max K. Now there's my top 5. You are more than welcome to agree or disagree. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I appreciate the love you guys are showing. In the next few videos, we're gonna go over wedges, putters, woods and hybrids. They're gonna be lumped into one category, and golf ball, just to kind of finish out this series before the new year. And like I said before, make sure you guys are using that code at Primo Golf, AKS15. Again, I'll flash it on the bottom right here. Make sure you guys are getting joggers, hoodies, polos, blade collar polos, shorts, hats, whatever you guys need, belts even, they got everything. Make sure you guys are checking out Primo. I would not promote it if I didn't think that it was worth it. As always, I appreciate you sticking around. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button for more content like this. And yeah, until next time, peace out.